Good afternoon, friends. Thank you for tuning back into Blender Homestead. I'm Sonia. If you have not been here before, what we do is homestead without any land. And today is not a wonderful day for me. I am congested on one side of my head. It's horrible. But I made spaghetti yesterday and I have some sauce left over. So I want to make some homemade pasta to turn that spaghetti sauce into lasagna. And I had a friend have some cream and some eggs, and I have volunteered to make vanilla ice cream. So we're going to start off with that because it's the quickest. And then I need to make a bechamel sauce for the lasagna, and I need to make the pasta for the lasagna. The bolognese basically is done in spaghetti sauce. I just gotta grind up the meatballs that are in the sauce. So then I can just layer it in, and we will have a quick lasagna for dinner tonight, and hopefully ice cream for my friend. All right, so I have a dozen egg yolks and a dozen egg whites separated because this is going to be 12 times. So I'm going to put my egg whites into my mixer. And I'm going to whip this until I get soft peaks. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of, this is supposed to be super fine sugar. So you can buy regular sugar and use a coffee grinder and make it super fine. Don't make it like powdered sugar, but super fine. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon per egg. So I'm going to add 12 teaspoons.
Woke up to sunlight.
Now I'm going to turn it on high. And whip it until I get soft peaks. While that is whisking, I'm going to add 12 teaspoons of vanilla.
Woke up to sunlight spilled like honey on the sill. A port swing creek alone on the hill. Steam curls soft like a ribbon dark. Latte in my hands with a little foam heart. Sun hits the counter, glints on a blue mason jar. Bevied on the boards, the radio's a half-tune guitar. Claw hammer picking paints the morning gold. Old country stories in a new day told.
And that goes into the egg yolks, along with the sugar. For a single batch to make this, you're going to use 1 egg, 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream, 40 grams of superfine sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And again, I'm timesing this by 12 because I have a half a gallon of cream. I'm going to take a little whisk.
Streets pull me away. Small town skies and make me stay. The center, roasted beans and cedar in the air. Tiny reasons weaving wild man curd there. Sunshine and lattes hold my day bright and slow. Porch swing lullaby where the warm breezes blow. Banjo ringing down the small town beat. Sun on a mason jar, sugar on my seat. Sunshine and lattes, hold my day. Take the gray, hold my day. Hold my day. Let the morning roll my way. Bell from the bakery, flour on a friendly grin. Neighbor waves, the mailbox leans like kin. Dog barks a rhythm down the dusty street. Kids chase sunlight with bare little feet. Lights take foam heart, floating like a tiny cloud. A postcard sky, no hurry in the crowd. Finger pick fills between the banjo steady hum. Upright bass walking where the slow drums come.
We will need another bowl. Let's check this. Yep, it is ready. Now we're going to scoop this into this bowl. And now we're going to whip the cream into stiff peaks. You don't need to clean your bowl if you do the egg whites first. If you do the cream first, you have to clean the bowl. So let's whip this.
Pull me near, all the small things clear and dear. A sun-worn step, the creek that knows her name. Simple love wrapped up in a morning frame. Sunshine that I taste, hold my day bright and slow. Porch swing lullaby where the warm breezes blow. Banjo ringing tap the small town beat. Sun on a mason jar, sugar on my seat. Sunshine and I taste, hold my day. Take the gray, hold my day. Hold my day. Let the morning roll my way.
So while the cream is whisking to a stiff peak, let's make the bechamel sauce for the lasagna. So we're going to start with turning the burner on. I am going to add 2 sticks of butter. It doesn't matter if it's salted or not. Does not need to be softened or melted. Mine's straight out of the fridge. Gonna let the butter melt. We're also gonna add some salt, pepper, garlic, and onion.
Big sea of yesterday's schemes, but here the light settle soft on our dreams. A postcard sunrise.
Okay, so we are now there. We need to add the filling in. My bowl is very full. I don't need to worry that these are going to scramble because, again, it's all cold. So let's see if I can get it to fit in here. And now we want to mix this in until it's all mixed in. Very full. Put this into the big bowl. Now you're going to take your egg whites and you're going to gently fold it in. So I'll dump this in. And I'm going to fold the egg whites in. You don't really want to deflate the egg whites per se, but they are going to deflate a little. Now, if you want to put add-ins into this, chips, nuts, whatever you want, this is the time you're going to add it in. If you're going to want to try to make it chocolate, when it was mixing, that's when you would add your cocoa. Or your strawberry powder or banana powder, whatever you want. Make sure it is very well mixed before you move to the next step.
Morning on the porch with a chipped coffee cup, tomato vines and honey on my thumb. I wipe it up. Sweet hay smoke hangs where the old red fort sleeps. Rooster calls the sunrise out from the creek, and I slow down, let the world spin without me. Take a breath of basil cut.
Okay, next step is we're going to get a spoon. And we're going to put them in 2 containers. And I'm reusing these containers. I reuse them for all kinds of things. Chasing the hens, blackberry up with 6 of these. I think they're 32s. Let me look at one that has a writing on it. 6 32-ounce containers that were full, and then one that is 3/4 of the way full. So now these go into the deep freezer for 24 hours. Now let's get back to the bechamel sauce. So back to the bechamel sauce. So all the butter has now melted. We're going to add equal amounts of flour that we put butter in. So we put 8 ounces of butter in. We're going to put 8 ounces of flour. And this is organic flour. I did not grind any. I should have ground some fresh milled flour, but I did not. And now we're going to mix it in. Then you want to cook the flour for 5 to 8 minutes. Once you get it all stirred in and mixed up, so it's all stirred in and mixed up. So now I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes.
Storms roll through and the power's gone low. We light up mason lanterns, watch the warm lights show. Every secret the dirt knows, it keeps for us alone. In the quiet.
Nice and boiling, it is cooked. So most people, at the most point, you would put normally milk in it. But I don't have milk. I have a ton of yogurt, so I am going to do yogurt. So in goes the first cup of yogurt. And I'm going to cook this down a little bit until it's really thick. It is already thick, but I want it thicker. And this is going to be our white sauce inside of our lasagna. Also want to make sure all the flour gets mixed in.
Morning mud on my boots.
Okay, it's all mixed in. I need to add a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. If you like the taste of yogurt, you are going to love this. If you don't like the taste of yogurt, the tartiness, you probably won't like it. I did add about 4 tablespoons of sugar because my yogurt is not sweetened. I just make it and put it in my fridge, and then I sweeten it as I need it. So I add a little bit of more, like a couple of pinches of onion powder and a couple of pinches of garlic. And then you saw me add the salt and pepper. And about 3 tablespoons of sugar. So let's give this a try. Give it a try. Ooh. It's got that tardiness of the yogurt, but all the flavors of the onions and the garlic and the salt and pepper. It is very good. This is going to be so good on my lasagna. So now that this is all done, it's just going to get thicker and thicker. And my red sauce is already done and in my fridge. I basically just have to cut up the meatballs if I choose to slice. I might slice them up. There's a handful of them in there. But now we need to make the pasta for this lasagna. Gotta clean as you go. So since my one and only usable countertop is covered with wet dishes, I'm gonna take a break. I still have a few more dishes to do, but I think those can make it into the dishwasher later on. And the bechamel sauce is done. One is going into the freezer, and the other one we're going to use for the lasagna tonight. But I'm going to take a break. Okay, countertop is now clean. Dishes have been put away. I pulled out a bowl. I'm going to make some pasta. So what you want is equal amount, 1 cup per egg. So I'm going to do 2 eggs. So I'm going to do 2 cups of flour. Some people do it on the counter. I just prefer to do it in the bowl. And my measuring cup is a 1/2 cup. So I'm going to put 4 of them in my bowl. And again, this is organic, unbleached flour. Put a couple pinches of salt. And our 2 eggs. These are farm fresh eggs. Now I'm going to take a fork and mix it up.
Slow and true. Robins rub the dawn, feels wet with new day dew. Crocus cracks the clay, daffodils nod in rows. Your grin catches sunlight where the river quietly flows. Hands find hands like roots, steady, soft, and soon I feel it rising like sap in the moon. Oh, the first blooms.
I'm going to add a little bit of water.
Spin beneath the sky, wildflowers push their heads up, and I catch your wandering eye. Spring rain drums the barn roof, porch light hums a tune.
All right, so now it is the consistency of Play-Doh. It's not sticky. Now we're going to wrap it up in plastic and let it rest for about 30 minutes. All right, guys, pasta has rested for 30 minutes. Now I'm going to press this out to a thinner layer, and then I'm going to cut it down the center. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my mixer on. This is on the widest roll. Guess I should aim you up a little bit.
Boot scratches on the path, your sleep brushes my arm. Blue jean freckled smile, the world feels safe and warm. We trace the fence post slow, hear the mandolin hum. Guitar keeps our heartbeat while the little creek runs. Every seed we plant takes root in this lagoon. I turn and see you, and it all feels like June. Oh, the first blooms of love, they spin beneath the sky. Wildflowers push their heads up, and I catch your wandering eye. Spring rain drums the barn roof, porch light hums a tune. You're my first bloom. Their tired boots washing rivers clear sweep. Let moonlight stitch the fields where the tall grasses sleep. We'll dance through the clover where the old barn shadows swoon. Hands tied, whispers low, promise carried by June.
Okay, so since my pasta comes out super soft, I'm just going to build it as I make my pasta. So I'm going to put a layer of the red sauce down. Then I'm going to put a piece of pasta. It's boiled and nice and soft. Put that down. Then I'm going to take a layer of my bechamel sauce. I still have pasta in the pot. Grab some of this. Layer that in there. Then I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella cheese. Then a little bit more sauce. Not a lot, just a little. Then another piece of pasta. Okay, then another layer of the meat sauce. Another layer of your bechamel. meat sauce. It's going to be my last layer. So I'm going to put meat sauce, then I'm going to put cheese. And now this is ready for the oven, or you can freeze it. I'll keep doing this until I have all of my pasta done, or I run out of sauce, whatever it may be. So I'll show you what I get at the very end. So I ended up with 2 lasagnas, and that was the leftover spaghetti sauce that I had from yesterday's spaghetti dinner. I also had cooked 1 extra piece, or 3 extra pieces of lasagna noodles, and I still had some of that white sauce. So I put the cooked pasta in with the white sauce. This pasta is amazing. I will not buy pasta anymore. I will be making it. But I'm going to bake these up, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like all cooked. Now remember, everything is already cooked. The only thing I need to do is warm them up and melt the mozzarella. So I'm going to put them in my oven for about 20, maybe 25 minutes, and then they'll be done at 375. All right, guys, they are out of the oven. There's the first one. Here's the second one. I let them cool for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to take a knife. We're going to cut ourselves some pieces. I'm going to decide how I want to cut it. Cut it in thirds. Grab a fork. It is going to be a little runny. Fresh made pasta with a yogurt sauce equals a very soft dinner. But it's all going to taste so good. Let's do a taste test. Okay, guys. Got my plate. Fresh made pasta. Some meat on there. Let's take a taste. It's good. But again, you gotta like yogurt. I probably could have heated this a little bit longer, but again, everything is already cooked, including the pasta. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit that like button and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell and you'll get notified each time I upload one of these videos. Now again, not the prettiest, but it's really good. And it's all homemade. So guys, until next time, bye.